And the Fox News alert now, we are monitoring the results out of the California recall. There are reports of possible remarks from Governor Gavin Newsom up in Sacramento that could come at any moment. And as we await that speech, let's bring in the host of The Next Revolution, Fox News' own Steve Hilton. So, Steve, the strategy here was never all along to defend Gavin Newsom's record. It was always to paint Larry Elder, as the president said yesterday, as a clone of Donald Trump and to boost Trumpism. And if you get rid of Gavin Newsom, here comes Trumpism.
That's exactly right, Trace. And it's really symptomatic of how Democrats in this state have approached politics generally. You know this well. We both live in this state, and we see the daily reality, which is so different from the rhetoric. With Democrats, it's all these big slogans, so in the recall, it's all about Trumpism and so on, not about substance, not about practical policies that affect people's lives. Similarly, in their record, they go on and on about equity and social justice and climate. Meanwhile, if you look at the actual outcomes, they talk about equity, but in fact, inequalities got worse, poverty's got worse, social justice they go on and on about. Who's suffering most from the school closures that Gavin Newsom imposed, from the way that small businesses were shut down, even for disobeying the rules that he himself was breaking? It's Latinos. That's why you've seen a big shift away from the Democratic Party among Latino voters. On and on it goes. They talk about climate. The most disastrous thing for climate change has been the out-of-control wildfires. Why are the wildfires out of control? Because they haven't done proper forest management and cleared the fuel that's fueled the fires. And then Gavin Newsom's cut the budget for wildfire prevention and then lied about how much he did. Wherever you look, the reality on the ground, real life, the substance, the facts are against them. That's why on the campaign, they've talked about anything except that.
But you talk about, that's the whole thing. You cut the budget for fires, you have more fires, and then you can blame it on climate change. You're right. The forest management is horrendous on the federal and the state level, Steve. But, we mentioned, by the way, you are a California resident, new to the state, your first time voting as a U.S. resident.
That's right.
The Democrats, congratulations, by the way, Steve, the Democrats have a stranglehold on California. But of all the things you just mentioned, they have both houses in the state house, right? Both chambers. And you think every major statewide office. And the question is why? Highest taxes, highest gas prices, highest homelessness rate, highest housing prices. It's astounding. And yet they're in power, and it will take a monumental movement to get them out of power.
Yeah, but Trace, this is what's so exciting about this recall campaign. I think it's galvanized that movement. Look, I've been here now since 2012, so nearly 10 years. I've never seen such energy behind a political movement as we've seen in the last few months behind this recall. Because people, it's a beautiful state. We love it here. It's an incredibly special place to be. And for a long time, people have been able to put up with the appalling, disastrous governance, the complete mismanagement of every single aspect of running a state, whether that's housing, homelessness, the schools, as we've mentioned. There's not a single thing they've done well. And yet people have kind of put up with it because it's so beautiful to be here. But it's so bad now. You drive around everywhere, not just central LA and San Francisco, and you can see the disaster of the homelessness crisis, which is really an untreated mental health crisis. You can see that people are leaving because they can't afford to live, they can't pay the taxes, businesses are leaving. The reality of the incompetence and the cruelty and the poor governance is really catching up with them. That's what's galvanized this movement. So I think whatever happens with the result tonight, it's just going to go on, this movement. That's why I've started this podcast, California Rebel Base. There's a lot of rebels in this state, and it's not just Republicans, it's Democrats too. Independent voters, they are sick and tired of this. We may not get all the way there in one go tonight with the recall, but change is going to come in the governor's office, in the state legislature, in those district attorneys' offices. In big cities like LA and San Francisco, you have these people on the side of criminals, not the victims and regular law-abiding people. Wherever you look, people want change, and it is going to happen one day. Maybe not tonight, but it's going to happen.
But there are some very staunch Democrats. I want to play this soundbite because I thought you'd appreciate it, and we can talk about it afterwards. This is a Newsom supporter at a rally last week. Watch him.
He hasn't done anything wrong. And this is just a cynical effort by the Republicans because they don't have they don't have the numbers in California, so this is their only way to try to get the governorship. So it's ridiculous. The whole thing is just based on lies and assumptions and stupidity.
Lies, assumptions, and stupidity, Steve. Are they not paying attention? Do they not look around them and see what's happening to California? And they think, oh, this is just, are we assuming that the state is just going down the tubes?
I know, that's what's hilarious about it, is actually, if you want to take that phrase, you could apply it to exactly what's going on and what's being done by the Democrats. The reality is so disastrous. And so I think, and that's why it's not just remember that there's recall elections going on all over the state. In San Francisco, they are recalling the school board. Do you remember the school board in San Francisco that was renaming the schools instead of reopening the schools? There's a recall effort. You were just talking to Tanya Owen. Fantastic. She's leading the effort to recall George Gascon in Los Angeles. You know, it's up and down the state. People are saying, no, actually, we do want a way to get away from this appalling Democrat incompetence. And actually, if we can do it through the recall mechanism,
Steve,
let's get on with it, because we want the change quickly.
I got to jump in. Stay with me right now, Steve. Stand by, because the Associated Press has now just called it. You see the numbers on the bottom of your screen. You see the check mark there, 67.3, 32. Yes, that means that Gavin Newsom will not be recalled. The Associated Press has now called it. You've got 58% of the vote in. As we said earlier, we knew that this was going to be the early totals in some of these large counties that came in, like Los Angeles County and up in the Bay Area. Our assumption and what the pundits were telling us is that as the night goes on, you're going to get some of the later votes, and you're going to get some of the votes from the areas like Fresno and Bakersfield and Tuolumne County and Tulare County, and some of these areas that have more conservative areas as you get closer to the Nevada border and you move up the state. Well, we're still waiting for those. But the Associated Press and other networks have now decided it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, and that Gavin Newsom will retain his position. And this is kind of what we're building up to, because Gavin Newsom and the Democrats were very confident in the fact they believed they were going to win this. And we expect that Gavin Newsom will be speaking any moment now. And when he does get to the podium, we will take it live. I just want to bring in Steve Hilton one more time. Steve, the measure right here, I'm not saying it's not going to get closer, but the fact that it is as wide as it is, does it surprise you that the Democrats were able, in just the past 4 weeks, to paint this whole Larry Elder movement as Trumpism and apparently resonate?
Well, no, because they had so much financial advantage from the corrupt donations they get from the government unions, the big money donations. They had unlimited fundraising, whereas the Republican candidates had limits on their fundraising. They had the money, they had the organizing muscle. And remember, the voter registration means that they have a massive inbuilt advantage. Look, if this result is borne out to be true, we have no reason to doubt it, then it's a really sad day for everyone in California, every parent who wants their child properly educated in the public school system, everyone who wants safety on the streets, every small business owner who wants to grow their business without the horrendous taxes and regulations, everyone who wants to see a cleaner, better environment. It's a bad news for all those people. However, as I was saying earlier, this whole recall effort has galvanized people up and down the state, Republicans, Democrats, independents, to say, we have had enough of the failure and the incompetence and the arrogance and the cruelty and the hypocrisy of these Democrats who haven't faced a challenge for so long. The movement has grown, and it's not unexpected that it was too much to expect it to happen in one step, in one night. But it's going to happen. The revolution is going to happen in California, because you can't get away with this level of incompetence that we've seen from the Democrat one-party rule in this state without facing real change and accountability. It is going to come. It didn't come tonight, but I promise you it will come, because people have had enough of it.